Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. Today, we're joined by Rachel Corpus. And if you've experienced Rachel before, um, you're probably aware of a particular feeling or a sensation that comes through when she begins sharing, especially when we get into live Q&A. But even there's a subtle nuance also that begins to rise as we open up an availability of consciousness and an intelligence running through that's activating and awakening through us. And how does Rachel accomplish this? What's her skill set? Well, part of it's going to be, part of many of what she's bringing in today is the conversation of Andromedan consciousness upgrade for advanced seekers. So unlocking your next steps. And what does that mean? We're going to give the insight in a little bit. And Rachel Corpus is an angel, an actual angel in a human body who came into physical form to learn and teach how to live a fulfilled life and deep connection with Source. She was born with the ability to experience things that others could not easily see or feel. And we'll dive more into that during the conversation, but I wanted to bring into the nuance, the feeling tones, the waves, as we get into today's call. We open and ground and invite into this Andromedan consciousness. And with that, Rachel, welcome to today's BTO call.
Oh, thank you. That was lovely. I always
Hmm.
love to be with you and your audience. It's such a great vibe because you're always so open and awake and ready to integrate those next steps. And I so appreciate that. You all
The
are
next,
built different.
we're built how we're built, but thank goodness there's so many of us that really resonate with this and are here to provide a perspective and an embodiment to wake that up within ourselves and potentially, if others are drawn to it, that there's something available to them as well. So, Rachel, why Andromedan consciousness today? What exactly is it? And what's that upgrade that is available for advanced seekers?
Okay. Well, first of all, Andromedan consciousness, let's think of it as a vibration that is part of all of us. Let's think about the earth plane where we live. We get to start, we're open to it. We can start to think of it as a hologram. And this hologram is a place that we all live that we have created. We don't need to think about this earth as some game board that some mystic teenager is playing on something somewhere else. Oh, no, no, no. We're all creating this, our consciousness together. And also, because we are all connected by a great source, we are connected to other beings that we have worked with in the other realms. And I'm speaking in past tense, which is wrong, honestly, because we're working with them in real time and through other iterations of us. You know, when I've been in a different type of body, another iteration of me. You've looked differently, all the people that are with us right now, different incarnations. All of those incarnations are running like movies, playing at the same time right now. Well, some of those incarnations have been with the Andromedans or the Pleiadians or the angelic realm. Well, the Andromedans, they're special to me personally because in the last year or so, I've been going on a lot of deep meditations, and they have come through to me and they've spoken in my skull cap area. And so instead of speaking to me internally, they've been speaking in my psychic realm. And they have been telling me things like, right now on Earth, we are coming to a point where we are integrating our helpers that were here at the beginning that helped in this iteration of Earth. They're our, they don't really call themselves our mothers and fathers, but the beings that were here in the beginning that helped us create our founding mission, which seems to be things like we are not separate, be good to each other, be fair, those types of things. And also how the world would grow physically, how the earth would grow and replant itself, how the sun would work, how the moon would work. We're reintegrating with those beings because we are ready to rebuild something here on this plane in this hologram. And so they are coming back to us into our consciousness through everyday means. When we eat some food, they're there around us. And so even those who aren't aware are getting it, but those who are super aware, we can bring that consciousness, that vibration back into our meditations. And so they help me develop this experience for people who are just maybe a step further in because we're doing some mirror work, we're doing some pupil work. And they said, though we are for everyone, the Andromedan consciousness is for everyone. This specific work would be for people that feel like they're mentally stable, that can look at themselves in the mirror for a long time because the face sometimes looks like it shifts. When you look into your pupils, you're opening up a portal. We're doing some high level things that it might not be that the information that you seek or that you learn is like mind blowing because everything you know is already within you. We're discovering the truths you have within you. However, the way we're getting to it is through a different cave or cavern. And we want to make sure that when you're in this space, you're ready for it. So that's why it's for the elevated learner.
How's this different than, say, waking up spiritually or connected to a spirit guide to get information and to feel like everything's okay, or to get the next piece of data that's going to tell us how to move forward in a relationship or a project or something that's happening in the world?
Great question. It's different because the Andromedan vibration is different. They behave differently. Every piece of our guides, every member of our guidance team, they have a little bit, they have a different piece of the puzzle. And the Andromedans are the same way. The timbre of their speech, the way they love, that frequency of their information is simply different. So, how we learn or how we remember to integrate back with them is very specific. And then when we remember the vibration and blend it back in as if we're weaving yarn back together. This is ours, this is theirs. And we learn that process again. Well, then we also can reabsorb or re-download what the Andromedan consciousness has to offer us, which is different than what our ancestors give us or our angels give us or the Pleiadians. Yeah, it's a unique set of skills that they can download to us.
Hmm. How do you specifically know that it's Andromedan and it's not Illyrian or Palladian or an Orion type of energy or consciousness that's streaming through you? I'd love to find out how you distinguish because some people receive information or try to, and it's not clear maybe what language they're translating or what the feeling tone is. And I'd love your perspective on how you have relationship with the different aspects that you tune into and translate for the people that you work with.
Mm-hmm. So this question means so much to me because I'm always a skeptic. I'm always asking, wait, who is this? Why are you talking to me? And how do I know it's you? So this resonates. In this specific situation, when I was meditating, I was in lotus position and I was coming out of a meditation. I thought I was done. And in this part of my head, right here, the skull cap, I heard it was a male voice that sounded like a YouTube meditation. Hello, welcome to this meditation. Seriously, like that. And it said, we are the Andromedans. So they
Mm,
told me
there you go.
outright. Yeah. So in this instance, I didn't have to go seeking and wonder. I didn't have to do any translating or anything like that. They just told me. And so when I was preparing this class experience and downloading this information, what I was allowed to do was go back into that pose, wait for that effervescent feeling that came in before that message, and then wait for them to speak to me in that way. So everything that's here in my notes and in the class came from that voice.
Hmm. For this particular type of work, and then we're going to go deeper into a special offer, y'all, because there's I won't call it a training, but maybe it is. Well, and again, we'll get into it later because this is so fascinating and really a layer of consciousness that's here for us now, that its time is now. And so if you are of the facility to be in relationship with the vibrational attunement that is taking place, it's of tremendous benefit. And again, the timing for it right now in our lives, in our humanity is so beautiful. What happens sometimes, Rachel, is some people will think that they're not advanced enough, they don't do the work, and so that it's like, well, I don't know if it's advanced, maybe it's too far above me. And then there's people that think that they're way advanced and they're like, ooh, hold on a second, take a few steps back. And it's like, let's breathe into what's really there. How can someone tell if they're ripe and in accord with this type of what you're saying, advanced training?
Let me take a moment to ask my guides about that and pull in the Andromedans as well. I would like to know their answer for this.
Beautiful.
You know, what they are saying to me is if people are drawn to this call, if they are interested in this, there's a reason. They're in the vibrational frequency of this information. So that's alignment. And one of the things that the Andromedan consciousness can level out is that feeling of, and maybe I'm over exaggerating for them, but the feeling of, I know it, I know it, I know it all. So when you come into this
Hmm.
experience, what I noticed when I was channeling, there were a few moments when I was thinking, is this enough? And the Andromedan said, yes, it's perfect. It's perfect because it is about opening up the psyche, opening up the neuroplasticity in the brain, and allowing us to reintegrate. So even my ego for a moment was like, gosh, I hope this is good enough for you guys. And they said, absolutely, it's for everyone because it must bridge a gap between, I began as a school teacher. I know how to create something that is for everyone. And their only query was, can we make this so if someone is coming in and they're not ready to see their physical face change in a mirror, please tell them, be ready for that. That was the only thing because we do the pupil work and the mirror work in the class. So if you feel called to this and you feel like you're a beginner, great, because everyone should approach things with a beginner's heart and a beginner's mind.
Hmm.
Lucky, keep that always. And if you're one that feels that you are highly advanced, maybe this is a gift where you can open up and still keep that autonomy, but also the Andromedan consciousness can soften that a little bit. And you won't feel knocked down a peg, not at all. But you will be open up and realize, oh, yes, there's more. This universe is big, and I am the universe at the same time, and there's more.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
feels like the consciousness.
I equate that type of learning as being a major league pitcher who can throw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, but then someone teaches them to throw a wicked curve, and it's like pff, all of a sudden their skills just expanded
Yes,
exponentially, and
yes,
their value on the salary cap increased tremendously because of what they're able to, because of the skill set and their ability to communicate in that particular fashion.
that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and then I also had a beautiful conversation with an amazing spiritual teacher and leader the other day, and she teaches a very nuanced form of of connecting to spirit without getting too specific about it. And she's questioning different layers of people that would come in and questioning, who was ready for it and who wasn't. And the channel quickly came in. It was so beautiful. It's like if they're showing up at your doorstep, they're
They're
ready.
ready.
Now, are you going to have to reach into the recesses to maybe lift up your game of how you teach so that they come on board? Probably. If you don't think that they're ready, it just means that you're going to be called to learn how to teach in ways that you haven't taught before. And so you wind up
Yes.
teaching each other. And if they are ready, then there's going to be a fluidity that expands even beyond what someone believes that they're already prepared for. And something in her leading in new ways actually expands the awareness of what's available for the group in its entirety. So the
That's
message
the
that
joy
came
of
from the
teaching.
Andromedans, right? And so it's the quality of the teacher. If you're listening and you're intrigued in this, it's like you as a teacher may have to do some heavier lifting or answer some questions that you're not used to, but we're here for a reason. We're ready to receive. And so it's really quite beautiful. Um, Have the Andromedans ever come in some of the field work that you do you do some work with law enforcement. You get called in some big national cases, I'll call them, without getting too specific. Do you find that the different consciousness show up in different ways, or is it more like your ability to tune in and see and the different cosmologies kind of get out of the way and you just receive? I'm so curious.
It depends. There's a lot of times that the consciousness of the extra or extraterrestrials, there are ultra terrestrials. It's that almost feel like, there are angels and archangels, there are extraterrestrials and ultra terrestrials, then there are interterrestrials that are in the earth. I often find that if I'm working a big case like that, it's the interterrestrials that will help because they're more connected to earth. Oftentimes the extra and ultra terrestrials, they will see that as earth drama, and
Mm,
they will come in if I ask them because they care so much for us. So if I ask, they'll be there for support, but they aren't the ones that will let me know, hey, there's a problem, there's someone missing, you need to help, unless it's someone that has gone missing because they're a whistleblower in the UFO or UAP community, or if it's some situation like that and it's
mm,
someone they care about or they need, they will let me know. But if it's someone that is a missing persons case or some other type of case that might be just more earthbound stuff, they typically don't touch it.
mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why are
Mhm.
the Andromedas ready for us to touch this?
Oh, because this helps us realize that we are more than what we have been told we are over the incarnations, that we're ready to remember we are part of source. And we kind of know that in pieces up here because we're starting to say it to each other. And
Mhm.
we've been saying it to each other in little classes and quotes here. And that's perfect. That's the way we have we have been told to do it, they said, but now it's becoming more embodied. We're ready to embody that truth and put it into practice as the structures around us are breaking. So the structures of earth, like the school systems, the money systems, the government systems, the church systems, they are pulling apart. And as they're pulling apart and breaking, there are new systems that are growing in place. And it's the spiritual community that's growing those systems. So as we regrow those systems, we're growing them with the unity consciousness that belongs to all of us, that came from the beginning. It's the source consciousness that we are not separate, that we are sovereign. So it's important to them that they reintegrate what we know. They're just helping us remember our data. They're helping us remember that. So as we rebuild these systems, nobody can corrupt that and say, oh, by the way, you need to ask permission before you do that. Oh, by the way, you need a go between to get to you and God.
Hmm.
We don't need the dogma anymore. We can just get to what we're supposed to do this time.
So we're getting to what we're supposed to do, but what does that mean for our daily lives, Rachel? What shifts in us as we open the gateway for this in our own choice, our own free will, and say we want to have a relationship with this frequency, particularly this Andromedan that you're bringing through. Um, How's that going to affect someone's daily life? It's like what are the boots on the ground in action compared to, hey, we're bringing in world peace and we're changing systems in the school systems that can be seem so large that it seems like we have to wait for that to happen.
Well, understand that right now in our world, the world is matching this evolution with us, and the Andromedans have, and the other extraterrestrial forces and councils, and the angelic councils have been watching this happen. And so they are helping us remember our sovereignty while they're watching the world not collapse, but the world pull apart. So, with boots on the ground, um, what this is going to look like is within the next couple of years, many of us will change our titles. If
Mm,
one worked in banking, they might not anymore. That job might not be around anymore. If one was a teacher, that might not look the same. We are getting ready to open ourselves up to redefine who we are. And it's not coming from always a spiritual place, it's going to come from a place of necessity because those roles simply won't be around anymore. And when they help us download this consciousness, we get to navigate that through a place of thriving and not surviving,
mhm,
so that when we hear news like that, it doesn't freak us out. We can respond with, oh, I kind of saw that coming. Okay. So, what are the skills that I have embedded in me? What are my skills and my dreams that I've always wanted to do? And how do I cultivate that from here so that I'm not just okay, but I'm thriving when that happens? We are
mm,
literally rebuilding our days, not just our mindset, but how we make money, how we take care of our kids, how we are in relationships, what we put in our bodies. And then Mama Earth is regrowing. She's changing how she grows her food, how the sun shines. There, literally every system is changing. So we're
mhm,
going to start showing up differently because we're no longer going to say yes to paying taxes upon taxes. Things like that just won't make sense to us anymore. Now, I'm saying it like it's a great movie. No, there's going to be rebellion in there because when we change rules, there's going to be arguments in there. But part of the Andromedan consciousness is how to argue and not fight. That's part of that
mhm,
consciousness, how to successfully communicate. And not everyone can do that, but the people on this call likely can.
mhm. Yeah, and we can look at that on the world stage in political and corporate environments, but really we begin with our environment, with our families, with our loved ones, in our circle of the type that work that we do and who we do it with.
And
And it
ourselves.
grows from the inside out. It's us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very much what this is about. They're helping us remember what's in us already because it pours out and it's going to make sense very soon with what our world requires of us.
hmm It's wonderful. Y'all, we're going to get into Q&A a little bit later, Rachel. So you have a particular question for Rachel, if you want to raise your hand and type your question into the chat box. We want to take advantage of this time with Rachel. So there's an invitation for you to ask your burning question and to go through with I want you to feel more into again the essence of the frequency and the tone that Rachel brings through. It's when she brings in guidance specifically for you as well, because there's an opportunity to work with Rachel in a discounted way. That's part of the special offer as well as these activations. We'll go through those in a little bit. Um, Rachel, before we get into any of that, though, walk us through what the key activations or shifts that happen as someone steps into this Andromedan consciousness. Oh, it looks like Rachel may have dropped off. I think she'll be on in a second. Um, but let's see what's happening here. Um, and Chris, let me know that I'm still on and it's not I who dropped off. Uh,
You're still on.
okay, I'm still on, y'all. Um, yeah, what's fascinating about what Rachel is bringing through, it's some of y'all may have felt over the last few years like you're trying to move forward in particular ways in projects and things that you want to create, and something that was calling you that maybe got g- got ignited a few years ago, and they were from old structures though. It's like whatever it was, we were relating to the past and trying to create something new. And as we step into this new consciousness, those things that won't resonate in the same way, they're just that they were meant for that time, but they're not meant to go into the future. They may need to go through an evolution of how you translate it for others to receive, or goes off the ground, or even the type of relationships that you're looking for. If the way that you did it before had ties to old karmic ways of learning and growing compared to the consciousness that you're awaking into, there may have been a stall in between as you integrate, bring into embodiment the frequencies that you've been ready to start absorbing, and that new creation starts taking shape in the new energetics and the future visioning rather than creating from the past. And so the important to understand and to discern these energies that are coming through, not to think that you've done something wrong in the past and there's something wrong with you because it didn't come to life. But the shifts are happening so quickly that they would have collapsed before they would have even taken off, or they wouldn't have been the essence of the fulfillment of the relationship that you're ready to have with that creation that really would have fulfilled you in ways that you're ready to be fulfilled. Not it could have landed empty because it just would have landed flat after all that work, after all that heart put into it. And it could have taken you a couple of steps backwards when you're ready to really slingshot forward in new ways. Rachel, welcome back. And let's get you to unmute your microphone, please.
Thank you. I must have had a power burst.
A big one, yeah. Oh my goodness. So take us through the key activations. And again, I was sharing with our audience that if things just weren't working out, that if we were trying to create something that still had tendrils to the past, that we're not meant to carry those things forward. And it's actually a blessing that perhaps they didn't come to fruition in the way that we thought that they would, because they're ready to carry a new energetic signature.
Yeah.
They're ready to carry the new essence of us rather than the remnants of the past that we want to carry forward in
Mhm.
comfort or nostalgia or our definition of how we're received or earned loved, if you will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed that the Andromedans have their own personality too, and they have taken their time to show up when it's time. It's they have their own personality, and if they would have shown up earlier, perhaps it wouldn't have been time for them either. And I just want to ask my rods that. I'm curious about that. If
Oh, I
it
love
wouldn't have
that.
been time for them either, is that a yes or a no? Yes. So,
Oh,
we think of the angelics or the Andromedans as this infallible race or this infallible faction of helpers, when in essence they are they are they're like a repeat of us, really, and they are working hard to grow just like we are. And they have a different perspective because they're not of Earth, but they're also growing too. They're learning from us.
mhm,
So there's also something for them with the timing of this, because if it would have happened years ago, they wouldn't have been ready, wouldn't have been right for them or the rest of the galaxy.
mhm. So amazing how this comes through. So Rachel, go ahead and take us through the key activations or shifts that happen as we
Okay.
um as we begin to embody this Andromedan consciousness that's ready to be shared with us.
All right. Well, the best I can explain that, John, is when when we begin to bring in that consciousness, we do it first in a physical way where we're actually opening up our physical coding. We do it with some sound, we do it with meditation, and we call in the Andromedans. So everyone who takes this experience, they're calling in the Andromedan community, but also their personal Andromedan guides. Because the Andromedans told me that everyone here on Earth has an Andromedan guide, regardless of whether or not they have had an Andromedan lifetime. Everyone has one assigned to them. So that calls them in. And then their coding kind of shifts together like a DNA strand. And after that happens, the experience that one might have in their day-to-day life could be what I noticed was I became more aware of the why behind why I was doing things, even the simple things. Why was I waking up before my alarm? Why did some music sound a little off to me? Why was I more drawn to this type of music? Because I was aware that they were subtly guiding me. And when I was meditating, perhaps with my eyes open, I could say to them, show me a message just from you. The communication becomes greater, more succinct with them. And also, one might notice that the other guides that they often work with will take a couple steps back so that we can just feel our Andromedan helpers for a little bit.
Mm.
And then, whatever the person is wanting to really focus on, if one wants to work on, okay, I want to work on my self-esteem. I want to work on my neuroplasticity. I'm worried about my memory, or I want to work on this limiting belief. That person can really talk to their Andromedans and say, this is something that I feel takes away my power. I really want to look at this with you. Then that can start to loosen up and get clarity in their life because the Andromedans, they are both from another dimension, which is not far away, but another vibration. But it allows them to see from a different perspective, a higher perspective. So they can begin to advise and say, oh, friend, that came from your mother, or that came from another incarnation.
Mhm.
It's up to us to still create those meetings with them and to be present in our body and in our space to receive those messages. But that's part of this experience to create the how. How do we sit with them? How do we call them in? What are the processes? And they
Mm.
help design that, which is lovely.
Okay. I want to get to special offer in a little bit, but I want people to experience you on the call and how information flows through you. So a few people, their hands raised, will promote them to panelist here if they want to be received as panelist. And there's also questions that have come in on the chat that I want to get into. So there's some great questions on here. Um, okay, first. I heard that Andromedans are involved or interested in politics and government. Is that true? Or what is the focus of being an Andromedan? Great question with the focus.
They are involved in politics and government to the when it affects the whole galaxy. So especially when they are working with the reptilian factor, when they're working with world government, they're involved. They're part of the council. But if it's small government, I've never seen them touch that.
Mhm.
What was the second part?
And what's the focus of being an Andromedan?
Same as our focus to live and live well.
Hmm, beautiful. Beautiful. And I really, I love that you brought that in. We complicate things so much. It's like, what's our purpose and when are we supposed to be here and what's my mission and where am I supposed, it's like, And if we really go down deep into the why, really like ask the question, but why that? But why that? But why that? And I think it's same for all of the consciousness, is we're all finding our way back home into the ineffable understanding and experience of love.
Yes.
Everything else on top of that is a byproduct of what it is and different reasons that we focus on to try to justify how we're either in that frequency or out of that frequency.
Yeah. Be kind.
Mm,
Be
yeah, so
love.
beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so great question that come in. And now let's see, we have Alex on video of us. Alex, can you unmute your microphone and let us know what your question is for Rachel and or the guides?
Hi, hi, everyone. Rachel, because I grew up in a household that had really fundamental Christian religion, where there was a lot of talk of, um, the Book of Revelations and all of these horrible sort of scenarios. So this sort of thought that there's going to be this world revolution, which I know needs to happen, and it'll eventually lead to something really
But
amazing. But
what's the question in it, Alex?
what's the peace in that?
What's the peace in that? Like the
Yeah,
feeling of,
where do we find peace in that?
well, let's remember that when we look at any religious doctrine, we as a collective, we wrote that to try to make sense of something really big, of source. And when the writers of the doctrines were writing about the end of the world, they wrote a lot of fear in that to try to help people, make people behave. And so when you're reading that, go within. Everything you need to know is within, and really ask yourself, does that feel right to me? Are we really facing an ending here? Because if you when I have asked this from the angels and the councils, what they tell me is there is no death. There is always a rebirth. And the fear that was taught in the religious doctrines was you better watch out because you're going to get smacked down and that's it. And then you're going to go burn somewhere. Well, that's not true. If the what we're seeing now is that our choices, our collective choices that didn't work for us, those are ending, but they're pulling apart like we're pulling weeds. But when you pull weeds, you're making room for something healthy to grow. But we're not scorching the earth. We're not seeing the end of the world. And so I'm going to say bravely to you that piece of literature is not as correct as what they want it to be in the church systems. It was
Mhm.
written to oppress and to fear.
Okay,
Yeah, and I would even ask the
okay.
question, it's if it's your original thought, Alex, does it bring you fear or knowing? I know that I can get lost in other people's information and take on and empathize on what they're feeling, but it's not mine. It's like, hold on a second. Why am I fearing their fear? It's not mine. Why am I choosing to be indoctrinated in that? So, something that you speak about, Rachel, and it's really important from what the Andromedans are bringing in also, is this deepened capacity for discernment and aligning
Yes.
with truth vibration. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
It's discernment without judgment, especially when we've been grown up. We grow up with a certain doctrine. We don't have to hate that. It's part of us. And we chose that as souls. We chose what family to be in and what to grow up with. We don't have to hate that. Nobody did that wrong. It's what made sense at that time in history and for us and our families. I encouraged and they encouraged to love that part of us because it's a chapter in you, but the
Mm,
discernment is everything. And when they say, what do you have in you? What does that feel like? What is the original thought that's yours? And can you go back to trusting that? Because if we have been taught to look outward, what do you read in the Bible for truth? What does the pastor say? What do your oracle cards say? None of that's wrong, but it's outside of you. Can we
Mhm.
reteach ourselves to go within and also reteach ourselves that that is okay? Because what's within us is source. And if we can go inside for answers again, we won't need to rely on someone else's words, not mine, not theirs, no one else's. That's the point. At some point, God bless us, we won't need any of this. We'll all be in a circle together and we'll just be looking at each other smiling. We got it. We got it. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody gets to be in their genius. And again, I just want to reiterate, the confusion stops. I don't swirl in somebody else's loop.
Yeah.
And whatever the loops are, I can honor them for their intelligence they're bringing in. I can also recognize where perhaps they're in a limitation and trying to figure something out and heal something that needed to be
Yeah.
healed. But I don't have to get lost in that abysmal energy that's not really taking me anywhere. When I tune into myself, is this true for me or is it not? And I get a direct response. I can honor that and breathe into it, and anything to the contrary will reveal itself along the way. And I trust that also. So it's really quite beautiful how advanced we're built, but we've given that authority away to doctrine that perhaps was well intentioned, but really
Mhm.
didn't take you as an individual into an account, which is
Yeah.
missing a huge part of the equation. Um,
One thing that's in this workshop, in both modules, we work on channeling the feeling of yes and no. Is it
mhm.
right for me or not? Because I was asking the Andromedans, how do we help ourselves know when it's you or us, you or us, or when we're channeling something that is us or it's corrupted? I really wanted them to help us know that. So, as we relearn to go inward, they're helping us. There's a couple of exercises in here where we will learn to or relearn to feel what feels right in our body and what doesn't, and how to get those internal yeses and nos. So if that helps you, that's part of this experience.
This is great. We'll get into special offer in a little bit. I want to take a few more questions and then we'll go to special offer. Then we'll go to more Q&A because this is fantastic. Dana, I'm guided to go to you now. Welcome to the call.
Awesome. Thank you. Super excited to see this, or you mentioned Andromeda, because I have never had a galactic, connection that I've been aware of or known of until a few months ago, and it was a very different experience than yours. So I'm wondering if you can help me connect some of the dots between your guides. Um, but at the end of meditation, also, this these beings opened up this massive portal in the center of my kind of between my belly and my chest, and they were light and fun like little workers, and they put this retainer in to hold it open, and they said, "We'll take it off like when you're ready," and created this huge field of container to hold more, which makes sense for what I'm working on. But I never heard. There was no one ever communicated with me directly, but there was only the one word in my head was Andromeda, Andromeda, Andromeda.
Wow.
And I've never had a chance to speak or share this because there's not many in my circle that communicate about this. And so yeah, the no spoken language, just this like there was lots of playful little teeny entities that were playing in this new circle that they created, and just felt so supported and continue to feel so supported by them. And so just curious, is it just timing that this is coming up now, or how do you connect that to your connection? And is there a connection? Well, I'm sure there is.
Okay, well, stop me if I start to say anything that you want to figure out on your own. Okay, but what they're telling me is that in your rib cage area, they opened up like a viewfinder, a
Mm,
viewing area for you, and that's available to you at any time.
mhm,
Okay, and they said that they didn't need to say anything to you because you're a visual learner.
mhm.
So that's the way they visited you.
Okay.
And at any time you can pull in language if you like, but you are Andromedan. And when you are there on your planet, on your home planet, you are one of the teachers. You saw smaller, younger Andromedans. It almost looks like a preschool or something, and they're
Yeah.
learning how to do
Yeah.
their their
Mm.
soul work or something. I almost said jobs, but it doesn't resonate because they don't really work over there. They love what they do.
Yeah.
And they were showing you that you are part of that beautiful system and that you are here. They were reminding you, don't forget you love what you do. Don't forget you're here to enjoy and
Mhm.
to receive back for what you do. And that you have all of these helpers here that, and many of them have taken bodies here on earth to help you call them in. So if you were to do something like this, and you don't need this class, love, you don't, but if you did this, what you would be likely doing is calling in not only the Andromedans, but also all of your helpers.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get into the mirror part of this as well because I think that connection and normalizing part of what may seem a little strange in the mirror, but having an experience with it helps to bring it into where we're more open to have relationship with the energies that come through because we're starting to see in ways that perhaps we didn't see before. We'll get into the special offer in a little bit. Dana, I'm excited for you. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Thank you. And
amazing.
that just reminded me of a connection where about 2 years ago, I was instructed because I really struggled with the mirror. I covered all the mirrors in my house for an entire weekend, so I couldn't look. And then when I took them down, it's like now you're allowed to use them if you use them for good.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, that's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
awesome. Thank you, Dana, for coming on and for sharing your experience. Let's get into a special offer. We're going to take more Q&A. The link for the special offer is in the chat box. You'll also find the link underneath the video where you're watching the call from today, either live or on the replay. Just click underneath. The special offer button's right there. If you're watching on YouTube by any chance, you'll find the link for the special offer in the comments section. And to share the opening of the galactics, if you will, I'll call them the other planetary beings. For the longest time, I didn't experience, I was aware of other people having experiences with different star systems. And I was like, hey, okay, awesome. I didn't get it, but I knew people were having experiences. For me, it was about the Christed consciousness, the heart opening, the light, the forgiveness, the compassion. It was very much led by what we would call ascended masters in the way that I understood them. Not that they're not galactic also, different conversation. But then I went through a phase where all of a sudden these star beings started showing up in different phases. And it all happened. 1 month was the Syrian, 1 month was the Pleiadians, another month was the Lyrian, another month was the Andromedans. And I knew them specifically by the essence that they were ringing through me. And you can't ask me how I knew, but I knew that I knew that I knew without question where they came from. And that consciousness just, I was ready and it just like blew open for me. So if y'all don't have experiences of it, I would recommend that you keep an open mind and heart and that when it's appropriate for you, if it is appropriate for you and you're willing, that 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 form of loving guidance is available to you as well. And those of you who want it but haven't felt it or received it, well, this can be a great opportunity for you as well to connect in ways that perhaps you didn't think that you can connect. Um, and with that, Rachel, let's get into the special offer and let everybody know what they're going to be interacting with as they dive in with the Andromedans.
Okay. So if you choose this experience, you have two pre-recorded classes that are pretty interactive. Um, you have me on your screen, and there are lots of times where I tell you, pause, go do this. Don't be naughty, really go do it. You have two modules with me where we use different parts of your brain. We use different activities ranging from simple art to meditation to somatic learning, somatic work to bring in your Andromedan consciousness. We also work with Andromedans. Can you help me with this? They're saying pulling in your personal Andromedan guides, that will be part of it. And these two modules are 90 minutes total with the breaks that you take and doing your own work. There's extension work that you get to do. And then as part of this offer, if you choose to have a session with me, you get a $50 discount if you book a session with me. So that's our offer.
That's fantastic. And it takes you deep into the consciousness, y'all. It's
Yes.
$147. There's a two payment option. Again, there's $50 off of private sessions with Rachel also. And it's wonderful to activate um, and awaken this relationship that you have even more access to now. There's some questions that have come through as far as the program. So let's go to some of those questions and we'll get into some more Q&A also. And again, y'all, the link for the special offers underneath the video where you're watching from. Once you open it and you want to participate, just click on the Buy Now button and it'll take you through. You'll get a link for the programs and your coupon for the reading. Um, Within minutes. If you don't get it within 20 minutes, just email us and we'll make sure that you find it in your email inbox quickly. So again, take advantage of that. Um, let's see. Jan asks, she has a question and a comment. I've been told I'm an Andromedan starseed. Would your program benefit me in awakening remembrance of myself as an Andromedan?
Yes, absolutely.
There you
It's
go. Sweet
perfect for
deals.
people who are Andromedan.
Yeah, that's great. And then Jennifer is also asking, is the face changing similar to mirror work for past lifetime visions, or is it more drastic and startling?
I don't know what your experience will be like. My answer would be stay open to anything.
Hmm. Beautiful. And then Margaret's asking, is there a specific color or colors that can be recognized signaling it as an Andromedan frequency? So how will someone in the frequencies, are they more pink or blue oriented, or I'm sure you get the sense of what she's asking.
Yes, more white, light blue, platinum. Platinum isn't their metal. They have their own metal, but it's similar to what we would think of as platinum.
Mm,
So steel blue, white, those are their hues.
great.
Mhm.
Beautiful. So if you notice energies in that way, that could be one way to recognize. Um, I think they can make it really obvious for us if we really need to know. A lot
Yes.
of times when I get guidance, I don't necessarily know who's coming in, but I can feel the benevolence. I can feel the intentionality of the energies that are coming in. And if I don't feel the intentionality and I'm not clear, I'll stop and ask them to be more clear. Ask them what their intention is and be
Mhm.
very direct in the questioning. Um, I have a lot of resistance with some guidance that comes in sometimes not out of my own limitations, but I want to be really in integrity with what I'm sharing. And so to ask for clarification will never be turned away from being clarified,
Right.
right? Which is really beautiful. Um,
Mhm.
there's also a question, what if you haven't met or heard of your guides? Can you still participate?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because this class, even though it's focused on the Andromedan consciousness, the experiences that we're having in them, they would work for angelic guides, your ancestors. I made sure that they could be taken out and useful for any practice that you wanted to do.
Beautiful. And I'm going to get to more Q&A, y'all. And those of y'all on video, I promise I'm going to get to you. But I want to kind of go down this list because it's interesting. Th This person wrote this as one question, but I want to ask as two questions, and I'll ask both of them directly. Can the Andromedas assist with negative energies? Can the Andromedas assist with negative beings?
Yes, yes. And also, they help us see negative or low vibrational beings or energies from a place of non-judgment
Right.
because they have a different view of how it works here. Um, they don't like it when we're victimized. I'll tell you that. They can be very protective. So when we are seeking help or protection, they're right there. I will tell you that in a different situation, if you're in a meditation and let's say you're looking behind your eyelids and you see a face right there, or you're in a meditation and you see something like, oh, that was alarming. If you're not threatened, they won't help you there because that's a chance for you to say, oh, different's okay. That
Mm,
that looked a little bit scary, but that wasn't threatening. It just was different. So that's building your community. That's a different vibration you're around. They want us to learn in that way. So it just depends on the situation. So sometimes if you reach out to them, they will say, are you sure you're in danger? Can you look at that situation again? When I do exorcisms, things like that, the only time that I've seen them present is if the the entity that I am clearing is from a galactic realm, and that doesn't happen very often
mm.
um, at all. But that would be, I think, the best answer I can give you. One of the things we're really doing here on Earth is trying to see different as not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really wonderful to share an experience that I had with negative beings, if you will. I was in a particular type of ceremony, and there was about 20 of us in there, and I was sitting, I was halfway awake, halfway deep in my process, but conscious enough to feel and recognize the energies that were flowing through. And I can feel a lot of discordant energies swirling through the room. And I was fascinating because it's like, why are they attracted to that person but not that person? Why are they going there instead of there? So it's like, and I started noticing that the attraction was to limiting beliefs, to denser energies, to a place that was open to siphoning from the field because of the lack of wholeness that existed within that person with those limiting thoughts. And
Yeah.
so I,
It's
I
like
play
Velcro.
I played with the field. I was like, oh, fascinating. Okay, let me bring in a negative thought into my field. And the second I got into a not enoughness, or not good enough, or something like that, I saw the energies come like right up to me. And then I
Yeah.
erased the negative thought because I knew exactly what I was doing. And then it hovered in front of me. And then it wasn't attracted to me anymore. So it went somewhere else. And I
Yes.
did this several times. And that's what happens with, I didn't need my guides to protect me from those energies. I was aware of what I was navigating and what was either magnetizing those towards me and what would repel that which I don't want to be in vibration with. And that can happen with the positive energies as well. It functions in
Yes.
both ways. So it's fascinating just how the facilities we already have within ourselves, if we only recognize and are taught how to bring them out and utilize them as the situation arises, as we're choosing to create in the field. It's fascinating. Um,
Yes, it is.
yeah, so good. Okay, so Catherine writes, I don't have sight in my left eye. I actually don't have a sense in that eye. And I'm wondering what impact that would have on gazing into my eyes or doing the mirror work.
Okay, let me ask that for you. May I please go into her sight lines, please, and check that for her? Okay, you'll have success with this because when you're looking forward, just looking through one eye, the other eye might not respond, but you'll get the same effect through one eye.
Mm,
Don't limit yourself, they said. And also, there's so much that's happening through the psychic eye, through the third eye. They're
mm,
saying, go ahead, try it.
beautiful. I love these questions that are coming. This is so good. Okay, let's go
Mm.
to a live caller
Oh,
now.
no,
Let's go
let's
to
go.
let's go to Susan. Susan, welcome to the call. Susan, let me ask you to unmute your microphone, please.
There we go. Thank you, John.
Hi.
Thank you,
It's good to
Rachel.
see you.
Yeah, thank you. I have been told that I've got some Hadar background and some Pallades background, and my sense is I'm a Andromedan. And I would guess I'm looking for confirmation of that and what my role was, my life's purpose on that um, lifetime was.
Andromedan, yes. Hadar and Pleiades, you have lifetimes there.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so that's not wrong. And I get the most from you about the Andromedan origin. When I ask them about purpose, they chuckle a little bit and they say, to live and to teach. You're a teacher.
Yes, I feel like I'm a teacher. And the Andromedan is a very ancient, deep, rich history
Yes,
of
from the
one of the
beginning of the
original
beginning.
beginning. Yes.
And it's the beginning of the beginning before everything.
So
So,
I've been around.
Su- Susan, can I ask a question for you?
Sure.
So, how can Susan bring that into her lifetime now and what she's experiencing now?
I realize oftentimes I don't ask myself for the guidance. Um, like I don't know what's with the not asking, but I feel like that would be the thing that I should really start focusing on doing is asking for the guidance and asking for the assistance. And I think I would get it if I asked.
Do you
And
want a message now from Rachel and the Andromedans if we were to ask
yes,
for
I
you?
love that. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, the Andromedan light language, they want you to start speaking it again around the house. Let it flow through you. That is part of this class. We do speak in light language, so you'll get to do a call and response and speak your own. But more than that, you just around your house, they want you to speak it because they're showing me that at night when you go to sleep, you go back home, you go to the Andromedan planet, and you're teaching language.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't want to tell you more than that because I want you to explore it. But then when you're awake, don't hold back from speaking and singing light language.
Yes, I have the sense that I'm really busy in the night. So,
Yes, joyfully busy. And they said the way for it not to get stuck in your body and for your body to feel tired from it is to speak the light language to let it out.
I
Because then your
haven't
body
spoken
will
the
say, that's right, that's where we were. Okay, that feels good. Now I can move around and stretch, and it doesn't feel the story of where you were doesn't get stuck in the ligaments of your body. So the light language for you seems to be just almost right in your nasal passages, right here, right where you phonate. So it's just right there. If you'll just let yourself babble like a baby, that light language will come right out.
Oh,
Mm.
great. I have not done that yet. So, I'll be happy to have that come forward.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Susan, good to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Okay, let's continue now. Oh, she went away. Oh, there you are. It's your name comes up as Test. I'm sure that's not your name. But let me get you to Nancy. There you go. Welcome to the call. Hi, Nancy.
Thank you. Uh, can they help us with projects we have? I'm trying to get a book written and I keep getting stymied on that. I keep getting things thrown in the way.
Sister, sister, I feel that with you. And yes, they can. They
Hmm.
can. They love to help get things done. And when you open up this consciousness, which you can do right now, you don't need a fancy way to do it. It's really just inviting them in and saying you're ready. Then, when you're sitting down to write, or you have a day that you feel like you should be writing, but you're not, you can say, okay, join me. Help me adjust my vibration. And they will help you get more done or get more done in a smaller amount of time. They can also guide you to better places to write. Maybe there's a different way your desk should be facing, or they want you to go to a library for a day. Yes, absolutely. They love to help you get things like that done because they are highly creative. They're always they're always building things, writing things. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Mhm.
feel I was an Andromedan once too. I've always been drawn to that, but I don't know anything
Let's see.
about it.
Let's see. That's a yes, love.
Hmm.
Well, I can't wait to get your book.
Thank you.
No
All right,
pressure.
Nancy. Blessings on your journey of your book, Nancy. And calling the Andromedans, channel to them. An exercise for you, if you don't know what to write, just channel write, pull up three pieces of paper and just write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. Don't know what to write until a message starts coming through. And let the message be either something for your book, either a message for you, something to receive, but it opens your channel. And do it specifically with the Andromedans and just do it daily for about 10, 20 days, even better. And you may find that that channel just opens in ways that just wasn't available for whatever reason, but that you're greasing the wheels, if you will, so that the fluidity of the words can land in a way that is aligned with what you want to write with your book.
Well, the information flows. I pick up a pen and I can't write fast enough. The problem is life keeps throwing challenges, health issues and things, and family issues and all that take all my time, and I can't get to it the way I need to.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Okay. So
yeah, they'll help with that.
asking for the spaciousness. It'll come. It'll come. Nancy, blessings
Yeah.
to you. Yeah,
Thank
excited for you. Let's continue now. Let's go to where did you go? Marjorie, let's go to you right now. Welcome to the call.
Hi, John and Rochelle. I wasn't going to do this call, but something this just prompted me and said, do the call. So,
I'm so glad.
um,
The
I
call's
I don't
doing you,
know.
love.
Pardon me.
I'm playing with you. I said you're not doing the call. The call's doing you.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I would like to know if I am Andromedan. I would like to know that. But Dana, she sparked a memory when I was younger, around 12, and I'm sleeping, or at least I think I am, and I would have these would look to me to be short men surround my bed, and they were in like trench coats and hats. Now
Oh,
that's how I perceived it. And then they would take their hands and just um, I want to like tickle my stomach, but it wasn't a tickle. They were kind of digging into my stomach. And when I would wake up from it, or it seemed like I wake up from it, I could still feel it. Ken um, was I being visited or contacted?
do you remember their faces?
I don't. I did not, I don't think I didn't see their faces. It was just the coats and the hats, and I knew they were short.
Okay, first of all, you are Andromedan, but those visitors were not Andromedan. They were something else. And you were not in any danger, but that was a different type of visit. And they were looking at uh they were hiding their bodies because they didn't want to scare you.
That
And
makes
they
sense.
were from the population that looks like insects.
Really? Wow.
So they put coats and hats on so you didn't get scared.
Mm-hmm.
So they were looking at how you digest
Mm-hmm.
and what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so the learning they got from you is how are you doing this in a human body? How are you not of this place, but you are in this body? How does this work? Because they are not a species, they're insectoids. They are not a species that goes into a human body. They are just insectoids. They look like praying mantis.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would have been scared.
Yeah. And they're not unkind, so they will
Mhm.
put on like a spy costume almost, like
Yeah,
a trench
yeah.
coat and a hat, like a not a derby hat, but like a
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like a 1950s hat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Wow.
will do that a lot, and they can make themselves smaller, but they usually are very, very big. I've also seen grays do that, but that wasn't they weren't grays. For you, they were insectoids. And so when they were touching your stomach, they didn't go inside, but they were able to see inside. So you weren't dreaming. They were putting you lightly under so you didn't get scared.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have forgotten all about that, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, totally forgotten about that until Dana said what she said about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, so Rachel, so many people on the call that are coming live are saying that they have an association with Andromeda. Why would going deeper into what you're transmitting benefit them? Why would this be such a yes for them to go into the special offer?
Because the Andromedans were with us in the very, very beginning. And we've gotten caught up in these stories that are more recent to us. What does the Bible say? What does this story say? What does this movie say? And when we reconnect with the Andromedans, we're going back to the original story. And we don't need to know all of that story. We probably will at some point, but what we're getting back to is our autonomy, our connection with source. And so we can take all of these stories that we've been taught in our incarnations and we can love them and respect them and see them as chapters in our book, but we can see them as external. And the Andromedans will also say, we are part of you, but we didn't create you. We were there as you were created, and we're here to help you remember. That's why they're so prevalent right now with us, because they're helping us remember our origin. It's time.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Marjorie, blessings on your journey. Thank you for coming on. Great question. And y'all, the special offer link, it's in the chat box. Again, it's underneath the video where you're watching the call from. It includes the 290, or it includes the modules. There are two
Yeah.
modules. They're pre-recorded, so you're going to get them and you're going to be able to start participating with them right away. And if you
In
want
your
to
own
book a
time.
live session with Rachel, there's a $50 coupon as part of the special offer to book your private session as well. So that's what's in there. I highly recommend it. Take advantage of that. Again, Chris just popped it into the chat box one more time to make it easier to find. And with that, let's continue to our next caller. Deb, welcome. It's been a while since I've seen you. It's so good for you to be here.
Great to be here. I checked this at lunch and I thought, oh yes, I got to get on this, and thought I set my alarm and then so I missed the initial part of it. I'm so sorry, but I was on as soon as I remembered. Rachel, nice to meet you. And I love the Andromedan, what I know about them. I just feel that deep in here and have for quite a while. But I don't know that I am one, and I would love to ask you that. And then I had a memory of a spaceship thing that may ask about, but let's do this. Just find out about it.
They said yes.
Well, they did. Okay, because
Yes.
no wonder I have such a love that 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 fills me. Yeah, I feel like I have this memory of when I was conceived, coming from Source, and on my way to being the conception, being taken on a ship, and they were
Oh,
testing, trying to, and I kept, I think dissociating is the word, like I was replicating myself because I was afraid. But can you even check with that if that's, I've never even shared this.
permission to go into your data field.
Yes.
Okay. It's interesting. Yes, that's true. It's interesting that you remember it as fear because when I look at it, you weren't fearful, you were ready.
Mhm.
And when you got closer to the earth plane, you were starting to feel the vibration of earth. And it doesn't look like fear. It was more you had trouble adjusting to the vibration. And your body was shaking and
Okay.
you were freaking out a little bit. But you weren't scared to be here. It was just they knew it was going to happen, and they were saying, "Okay, we went through this in the practice." And you were saying, "Yeah, but you didn't say it was going to be like this."
I
They
think
were
that's
just, yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was more like that. And you knew it was going to be okay, but it was just a big change from where you were from being so easy peasy and sweet, and then earth.
okay.
And this like, yeah,
And was that Andromedan
yes,
where it was coming from then?
yes.
This the that just dropped into me. I wanted to know if I was a Andromedan, and then I had this memory, and I thought I've never even shared. I think I've shared it with two people my whole life, and they kind of just think, you're weird. Like that didn't really happen.
Delightfully weird. And thank you for being brave to share it.
I was just compelled because I thought this. I have to ask this question tonight. I was guided. I was guided definitely too.
That's what I saw.
Okay, well, you've just blessed me immensely. Is there anything else you can tell me about that then? Like, this just opens up a whole new world for me.
You can go back into that memory at any time. It may feel like you're making it up, but you're not, they
I,
said. Go back in and you can take the place of you, or you can be another one of the helpers there, whatever serves you best.
and what do you mean by the helpers? Because yeah, I probably have always been afraid to go in, like never even given myself
Right.
permission.
So they're giving you permission if you want to go through the eyesight of one of your guides that was there, kind of holding you, saying it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. If you don't want to go back into you and experience that again, you can go through one of your guides that was there helping you as you were coming to earth. You could see it through their vision, or you could watch it as a movie. There's different ways you can experience it, they said. It won't be re-traumatizing.
Okay, so if it wouldn't be re-traumatizing, then I would think that I would like to go through as me, like I am.
Okay, I would recommend that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
said just go into a place where you have something behind your back so you feel supported and warm. You feel warmth back there.
Okay.
And maybe it's a dark closet or something. So feel like you're in the ship again.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
You may want to drop into the course tab or
Yeah.
or get a one-on-one session with Rachel
Yeah.
with the discount and really get into more of an exploration of what's opening here because it seems like you have a lot of questions and it's just like
Yeah.
it wants to be activated and so it's I think it'd be wonderful for you. Um,
I'm just delightfully surprised that I was even guided, compelled to share that story.
well,
So
here,
Yeah.
yeah, it's and
Great.
that's a liberation already. That
yeah,
means something is awakening, which is wonderful. Congratulations and thank you for sharing.
yeah. Thank you, Rachel.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's continue now. Beth, welcome to the call.
Hi, thank you so much, John. I haven't seen you in a while, but I have heard you.
Excellent.
Yes. I have also been told I'm Andromedan, and a number of months ago, I was told that the Galactic wanted to make more contact with me to get on board with what my higher self was doing, which I won't go into. And since then, I have had some meditations when I'm in nature, I can really connect. But the most powerful were when I was with a group of people, I was with somewhere and someone was facilitating. So I have my question is, I'd like to do that more, like the depth that I had in the group was not the same as my senses and feelings are a lot, but in terms of the graphicness that I saw. And then the other thing that comes up with a few callers ago when she talked about fear is that if there was something really going to be emerging and being shown, how in general, this is for everyone, I think, like not to be afraid if we're really going to see or feel something totally different.
Well, we're human, so if we do feel fear, that's a valid response. We don't want to bypass that. But when we feel the fear, we get to question, why is it there? That'll be part of the process. But also, when we go into the pupil work or the mirror work, we get to start that by remembering we are protected. We are not navigating in a place of low vibrational frequency. We're going into this for our highest good. And so, we're going into it with that intention. So we're not going to encounter anything that's nefarious from
Mm-hmm.
the get-go. So what I hear from them is all of our feelings are part of us and should be validated, because that's why we're here on this earth plane, and that's unique to this experience. But I am not being shown that there's going to be anything that's there that's threatening to us. What we get to navigate here on earth, it's more the people that we are that we're dealing with that are threatening. They said it's not the spirit world.
Yeah, I guess what I meant was it's more like a knee-jerk reaction. And it's like, oh,
Ah,
no, 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 I want to pull that back because I want to be open. I want to make
they
contact.
don't mind. They don't
Okay,
mind. That
that's what
knee-jerk reaction will not get in the way at all, because it's a genuine organic response.
okay.
And if it feels, when speaking for me, when I have that response, if I feel that it's unkind, I will just say, "Oh, I'm sorry. That's about me."
Right,
Mm.
I just answer it. I name it.
right. And is there anything about the part where I had such vivid connections that since I've come back, I haven't had that as much?
Yeah, I'm hearing that it's not you, it's them. So they can't always meet the vibration of where you are, depending on who you're with, where you are, what the land is doing, what the sun, what the moon phase is. So remember that for them, with them,
Okay.
and you can enhance their communication with different scents. There might be different incense you could use, different sounds, different music. Play with that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not you. It's all about creating the meeting, the right vibration for the meeting.
Hmm,
Mm.
that's
Beautiful.
interesting.
I
Okay.
Yeah.
think what also happens, Rachel, and I love your to expand in my awareness around this, is that at times we're in a specific receiving mode, and sometimes
Mhm.
group environments provide that. We're in heightened intentionality. We're holding that together, and we leave that dynamic, and it seems like we may have lost a connection, or it's not rising in the way that we viscerally experienced it. But there's also an aspect of there's an integration that we're going through. And to actually embody what was received before we receive more can be really beneficial as stair stepping into an intimacy that becomes available. But we're learning not only to hold it within ourselves, but put it into practice in our daily lives, in our interaction with others, or teach it to others. Sometimes just explaining your experience is a teaching tool for someone else that helps you to integrate simultaneously. So to understand that because it seems like it's turned off doesn't necessarily mean it's turned off. It means that we're learning how to be in relationship with it in a way. And it's dancing with us, and we don't have to interpret that it's not gone or it's not available, but be curious about what's become accessible because of the experience in the first place.
Okay.
So something to play with and something to
Thank
just
you.
be open to, and they'll come through. Like when it's like we don't have to force it. But creating the space, the incense, the tones, the sound, like Rachel's suggestion, is huge. And I have a feeling the mirror work, y'all, I've done mirror work before. It's powerful. And the way that the Andromedans are bringing it in through Rachel and what's being learned in this course, it may kind of fast track a capacity to hold
Mhm.
in frequency the attunement of that relationship that you seek back within yourself in consciousness. So maybe something that you want to check out. I have a
Great.
feeling that it could be of tremendous benefit. All right, we're going to take one more caller before we end today's call. We're going a little bit over. I want to take all of y'all. I'm sorry that I haven't, but our time's running short, but I'm really strongly guided to call on Barbara. Barbara, welcome to the call.
Hello, Rachel, and hello to John. Um, Being the last caller actually gave time to formulate this.
Mm,
Um, I've not been drawn to the Andromedans in the past, other than knowing there was a movie with that in the title as a child. Um, so my question is a little bit in reverse in considering the special offer and um, with all of the multitude of sources that I've had come my way. My question is more of with my self identity as being part of the ground crew on Earth at this time, but not having a history on Earth. Is there something that the Andromedans would like to convey to me in my role at this exact point, having lost my source of income?
Mm.
Do I hold out with this gift of time for the ideal something, or does it matter a title or a specific job when what I bring to whatever I do may be the important part?
Mm. Mhm. Okay, well, share this bravely and seek your own information, but they did say to hold out. They said that you're on the right track to give this some space. And they said that you are a few steps ahead of the rest of us as you're recreating your identity here on Earth. And the rest of us many of us will be doing that soon. So in essence, you're going through the repatterning or the reshaping of who you are now, and you'll be teaching the rest of us how to do it in the next year or so. What they said was, when you talk to us more, and to be honest with you, my love, you have everything you need within you. So with the resources that they're bringing to you, you can use discernment on which ones are best for you and how much of your resources you want to put into that. But they said no matter what you choose, they're going to speak to you and channel into you what your next steps should be. And some of those steps will be practical. So they'll let you know if you need to get a temporary job to put butter on the bread. And they'll let you know the higher level steps. This is where we want you to move into as a spiritual helper. Those things will be laid out for you as long as you make the time to be with them. And when you sit with them, they'd like you to have a pen and paper with you
mm,
so you can keep track of what those downloads are, even if it's just a small phrase at once or a word here and there. So begin a practice of automatic writing. And please do that daily with them, because when you're with them on that planet or in that dimension, you are one of the writers. You're often creating plans. You're creating, I think, curriculum. They don't love that word because it's a little bit too bossy, a little bit too boring, but it looks like curriculum. And it's very playful. And here they're saying it doesn't feel as playful because there's so much work to do, but it will be playful for you at some point. And you're not supposed to be worried so much about finances. That is like a time lapse here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I get so far. I hope that's helpful.
Definitely. And it reinforces some of what's gelling. One additional question would be around the automatic writing and the timing, because for quite some time when I lay down to go to sleep, which I look forward to, sometimes within seconds or a few minutes, I'll start having body jolts. And it's welcoming of, okay, I'm doing some kind of shift here, but I don't understand it. I feel like during that sleep state, I've got a lot of work that's happening or transmissions, but I have no clue when I get it.
Okay. If that interrupts any flow of your sleep at all, they're asking you to move that communication to your wake time, or to add a small meditation before you go to bed. But that is, you see, you have to understand that the Andromedans, and you have some other extraterrestrial helpers around you, they don't always come in at the same vibration as you. So when they touch your body, there's a little bit of a, ooh, what was that? What was that? Just like when our angels touch us and our family touch us, we get a little bit of a goosebump feeling. It's the same with them, but it'll be a jolt because they're so high frequency. And so if that is interrupting anything, what they're saying is, let us know, and we will download that to you from the bottom of your feet gently, or we'll put it on your mattress and it'll soak into you. There's other ways they can do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I like those thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, love blessings. I hope that is helpful. I have a feeling that it will be. And come back and listen to the replay. And you'll feel it's not just the logical information that's coming through, there's a vibrational facilitation that's happening as well. And as we breathe into what we're receiving here, there's something that's expanding within our awareness, our action taking ability, our receptivity, and our capacity to give from the overflow of what's being given so generously to us as well. And things become simpler in that. It's simpler, but more profound simultaneously, which is so exciting, which is why I love doing this and having guests like Rachel on our call, because it's just everything just gets to level up in that way. But come back, definitely listen to the replay. Y'all, the replay link will go out a little bit later in an email. You can always access replays at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. And of course, the special offer of Rachel and the Andromedans and the discount for the one-on-one session, which for a lot of y'all sounds like it could be amazing to activate this remembering and knowing and articulation of that knowing into your daily expression. So I hope y'all take advantage of all of that. And with that, Rachel, this has been so wonderful. It's always just so enlivening when you're on the call. Thank you for coming on and for sharing love in the way that you do with us.
I love spending time with you. Thanks.
Yeah, it's been an honor. It's been an honor to be with all of y'all here. Thank you for being on. Thank you for your, oh my gosh, for being you and for joining this community and for saying yes and for giving yourself permission to really have these relationships that at one point we would have denied or we have been asked to deny within ourselves. And you're showing up for greater truth. So I bow down to each and every one of you in gratitude and namaste. And with that, I look forward to seeing y'all on the next call. Bye, everybody.